Well, we're almost at the end of 2024, but Elegoo had one last surprise up their sleeve, and that's a new slicer for your resin 3D printers called Satellite. In today's video, I'm gonna be giving you an overview of this new free-to-use slicer and why you might consider using it over some of the other slicers that are out there. And over the last few months, I've had access to a beta version of the software, and I've been providing feedback back to Elegoo's team, and I'm excited to see how well this is now shaped up for this initial release of their first slicer. And there's no reason why you couldn't use Lychee or Chitubox over this. However, it should provide an excellent starting point for anybody new to resin 3D printing. But what I think that's really exciting about this is that it has some functionality baked into this version of the slicer that's in the paid versions of Lychee or Chitubox. So it's gonna provide you with some of that extra functionality that you might not have access to without paying for some of the other slicers. So with all that said, let's jump in and take a look at it and get a few things sliced and up and printing.
Okay, so the first thing that you're gonna do is head over to Elegoo's website where you can download the Satellite 3D slicer. You'll notice here that it's initially only available for Windows. Unfortunately, I'm a Mac user, so I'm gonna have to use my PC for this. And what you'll be able to do is perform a whole bunch of different actions that you would typically find in most resin 3D printing slicers, like hollowing and supporting and rearranging your prints and getting them ready to actually slice and print. So once you have that downloaded and installed, the first thing you want to do is actually create an account. With that, you're then going to be able to log in, and it's going to save all your different profiles that you'll have access to. Like you'll see here, I've already set up one for the Elegoo Saturn 4 Ultra, but what I can do is come back in here and add a new device. So you'll see we have a whole bunch of other resin 3D printers available for us to choose from. So this means you're not limited to just the Elegoo resin 3D printers. However, I'm going to be using the Elegoo lineup here. You'll see it has everything from the original Mars all the way to the brand new, soon to be released Ultra 16K. And for this test, I'm going to be using the Elegoo Mars 5 Ultra and setting up a profile for that. So I'm going to click next here. If I wanted to bring in some other resin 3D printer profiles, I can click on this cloud button here on the left-hand side. That's going to bring me to a full library of resins. This is, again, the first initial release of this resin slicer, so there are some usability improvements that I've already written up and have provided over to Elegoo that we'll hopefully see starting to roll in here. But if you have additional feedback on this as you're working with it, feel free to reach out to Elegoo. Like in this page here, I want to be able to see more than just the 12 by default. I think the default should be a lot higher than this. So here, but what's great about this is that they have a pre-set up list of resins for you to work with and all the different settings already laid out for you. I know I'm going to end up using the standard blue, so I'm going to change the resin type to standard, and then I'm going to find the blue option in here. Again, if this was alphabetically sorted or some way, it would be much more convenient. But again, it's just the first one here. So I'm going to say load the selected, and now I have this resin that I can now work with for my printer. And once you click apply, you can start bringing in files and getting them prepped and ready for printing. So to do that, I'm going to take a file that I downloaded from Thangs. It's going to ask me if I want to resize this because it's seeing that it's too large. I'm going to say no. And it also detects that there's potential issue with it and it wants to have it repaired. So I can click the repair function and it will go through the process of repairing this file. And it's pretty quick depending on everything that needs to be done to it. And we'll see here that I have this cool little Spider-Man from Marvel Rivals from PrintedObsession that we're gonna end up getting printed. On the left side of the screen is where you're gonna find your basic controls, like things like placing this directly on the plate, moving this around the build plate, so I need to reorient this or bring it in above the build plate or off to the side. Maybe it was off to the side here. I can also come in and rotate the object any way that I'd like. There's also this freeform rotate function here, which is pretty cool. So I can get this situated kind of how I might want it, reposition this around as well so it's right there on the build plate. We also have the scaling option because I know I want to actually have this printed slightly larger than what it was brought in at. I can come in here and universally scale this up by clicking on any of those, or if I wanted to only scale it in one direction, I can uncheck some of these options over here to actually readjust the scaling. But for now, I'll leave this as a nice large sort of scaled up Spider-Man that we can work with. If I also wanted to, you can mirror the object as well. So I can choose to mirror the object depending on how we wanted to work with this. So you have lots of options for that. There's also the function that if I wanted to create multiples of these, I can use the array tool that's in this overflow menu. So here I can come in and I could select if I wanted to create multiple iterations of this and how many in which section I wanted to have those set up as. There's also a layout function where if I had multiple print objects here, it would help me lay out these on the build volume of the printer. And there is a measure tool, which is going to allow me to select a point on our object and measure just how large that particular measurement is. And I'm using a mouse for all the controls, so this is going to allow me to right click to rotate. If I use the scroll wheel by pressing in, it's going to allow me to pan, and then if I scroll in or out, it's going to actually zoom in and out on our object here. Very basic controls. Now along the top is where we're gonna find our functions like hollowing, adding holes if we need to do further repairs, or adding supports. All of these menu items are also drag and drop sorted as well. So if I wanted to rearrange these, I could definitely do that as well. One nice thing that they have available in this free version of the software is I can actually come in here and cut our Spider-Man in half if I wanted to. So here I can select this as the object, and I want to actually cut him right down the middle here, and I can do this as a performing a cut, and it's gonna cut Spider-Man directly in two, and we'll end up with two different objects that we can now work with. Kind of cool. You also have the ability to add labels to your prints. I'm not entirely sure, how often I would use this, but if I wanted to etch out the actual text information here on Spider-Man of what this particular model was, or some custom text, I can do that by just clicking and dragging. It will embed the text, or it will actually lift it outward from the object. Potentially this could be cool for printing a whole bunch of different miniatures and just helping better identify them by placing that text on the bottom of your objects. But for our test, what I want to do is come in here and actually hollow out Spider-Man. So here I can adjust the thickness of how we want this to be hollowed out. If I want it to be filled on the inside or just completely hollow, I'm gonna say confirm, and it's gonna hollow out our object. And now I can actually see that it's hollowed out this entire Spider-Man for us. Now, logically, the next step is that we're gonna come in here and select some holes. And again, you have a lot of controls on how you wanna add holes to your objects here. So you can set those as large or as small as you'd like those. I'm gonna set this by 5 by 3, so it has a little bit of an inner cone shape to it. That's actually a little too large, so maybe I'll do 3 by 2 here, and I'll put those right on the feet, and then maybe I'll do one right in the rear end here.
Bruh.
We can then click confirm, and we'll see that it's burrowed in the holes directly in our print for us. Additionally, if you don't like the placement of one of your holes, you can't click on it to move it just yet, but you can hold on the control button on your keyboard to remove that hole and then reposition it. We can then click confirm, and it will burrow the holes for us. Now, logically, after orienting and hollowing and adding holes to the print, the next thing we're gonna do is come in and try to get this supported. They have an Evo and a tree support that I'll show you the difference of here. So I'll do the Evo first here by using the smaller option, and I'm just gonna generate automatically for this, and hit generate after selecting the model. It takes a few seconds to generate the supports. You have lots of fine tuning that you have available here within this slicer for manipulating the auto supports as well as manual supports throughout your model. So here is the Evo supports, or you'll see that it does its own little structure system where it builds upon itself. And you might have like a sporadic set of supports, and then it gets more densely populated as it gets near to the actual object that it's helping support. Now, what's really cool about this is for me to be able to show you the other support option here. One of the coolest features that they've added here in this slicer that none of the other slicers have currently, as far as I'm aware of, they don't have access to, is I can add another build plate directly here in the slicer. This is so nice. Just like what we have in a bunch of the other FDM slicers, we can now have multiple build plate options here to work with to manage larger print jobs. So I can take our Spider-Man here and duplicate him. He's now on this other build plate, and we'll get him reoriented here in just a second. But I'm gonna come now back into our support section here, and I'm gonna now generate the tree small supports and have those automatically generated so that you can actually compare and see what the differences are between these two. So you'll see with the traditional tree supports, this just looks like your standard tree supports that are more vertical than what we have here with the additional branching structure in the Evo option that's available within this slicer. And again, you can come in here and after auto supporting, or if you didn't want to auto support at all, you can manually go in and set your supports by using the manual edit option here to manually place supports. There are also the options that appear to be able to allow you to paint on supports. However, I wasn't able to get those to work properly here in this first iteration. It might be all user error. I'm not entirely sure, but there is the way that you can actually come in here and manually place supports by just clicking on individual areas that you want to have supports generated and clicking apply, and it will add those additional supports for you. You also have the option to come in here and while you're working with your objects, if you needed to, you could hide an object from a build plate to help give you better visibility, or if you wanted to hide that other build plate entirely, you can do that as well. And in this case, we don't need this other one, so I'm just gonna have it deleted, and I'm gonna delete this other build plate as well. Now that the model is supported, I can get it ready for printing by clicking the slice button in the bottom corner. This is going to allow us to generate a slice preview file that we can view and see exactly how this is going to print. Then we can actually export this out. It's going to be in the .goo format. I'm going to change the file name here to Spiderman or Spider Test. And save. And confirm, and it's gonna generate our sliced file and we'll get this up and printing. And one thing I forgot to mention is you can't directly send this to your 3D printer wirelessly over your network if you're using the Saturn IV Ultra or the Mars 5 Ultra just yet. You have to export this and then load it up on the USB stick in order to transfer those over. Hopefully, we'll be getting some of those advanced features like the wireless network sending and then remote monitoring of the 3D printer via those cameras built into those machines. And as you might have guessed, Elegoo is the sponsor of today's video. They are the makers of this Mars 5 Ultra Resin 3D printer that is so incredibly easy to use. This is by far one of the best Resin 3D printers for beginners. There are so few settings that you have to deal with when it comes to actually getting things sliced and up and printing, and now things are even easier to use thanks to Elegoo's new Satellite Resin 3D printing slicer that has all of those predefined profiles for all of those different resins that you could be working with for this Resin 3D printer. And what's even better is if you're looking for something even larger than the Mars 5 Ultra, Elegoo has the Saturn IV Ultra, which has the same tilting vat mechanism on the Saturn V Ultra, allowing it to print really fast and still have that simple setup, but it has a much larger build volume. If you're interested in more information about any of Elegoo's products, you'll find links to those down below. And check this out. This was the first time that I've ever printed with this blue standard resin here from Elegoo on the Mars 5 Ultra. And I have to say the print looks like it turned out perfectly here using those exact settings from the profile that was provided directly here in the slicer. And we can take a look at how the supports looked by taking this off of the printer here, and everything looks like it came out perfectly here on this print. This looks so good and it looks really nice and clean. And to get this cleaned up, I'm gonna be using Elegoo's new Mercury Plus V3 wash and cure station. This is gonna allow me to not only clean, but also cure these Resin 3D prints once I get all the supports removed. And after removing the excess resin from this print, you can really see how well this printed and captured all the details on this print. And what's really impressive is just how well these Evo supports have really worked on this print, where you can really see how it helped structurally support the supports and then minimize the contact points where it was actually gonna be in direct contact with our model. And again, this is all entirely auto supported. I didn't add or modify any of these supports. It came off so easily, so easily. Now this is the first time that I've actually sliced and printed anything with this new Satellite slicer, and I have to say this entire process went so incredibly smooth, and the print here turned out fantastic. Everything printed properly, I had no issues removing supports, and overall it was just a really straightforward, easy process. I think this is gonna be a fantastic option, like I said originally here, for anybody that's brand new to Resin 3D printing and maybe just got your very first Resin 3D printer. And again, one of the best parts about this is that it's entirely free to use. Now, it's not perfect. This is, again, their very first release of this slicer. I have a ton of feedback and requests for new features that I've already sent off to Elegoo about this new slicer.
And a few quick changes that I would like to see implemented in this is that you should be able to hopefully click on a model directly on the build plate and directly move it around with your mouse on the X and Y axis, just to reposition this without having to use the move function. Another is when you're actually going in and scaling the object, anytime that I change the scale, it should retain the percentage that the object changed to. So if I scale this up to 150% of the original size, it should retain 150% as the value, not revert back to 100. Another one that I found out while running this very first print using the slicer is that I had it positioned in the front of the build plate in the slicer. However, when it actually printed, it was in the back. I would also love the ability to actually block out areas from hollowing. So having like some kind of a modifier function to block off particular areas that I do not want hollowed. Maybe it's extra thin areas or just in areas in general I want to be solid. And there's already a good number of resin profiles built into that for Elegoo specific resins. However, they're missing the rapid resin. Please, Elegoo, build out support for the rapid resins. These are the best resins to use with these really fast resin 3D printers. And I'm a big Mac supporter, so obviously I want to see the Mac support roll out for the slicer sooner rather than later. But in general, this new slicer has worked so incredibly well. If you're interested in trying out for yourself, I'll have links to the slicer down below where you can download and again, try and print some files for yourself for free. I also want to say a big thank you to all my Patreon supporters for your continued support of me making videos like this here on the interwebs. If you're interested in things like my resin 3D printer settings, you can find those over in my Patreon. But let me know what you think about this new slicer from Elegoo and if you'd consider using it for your resin 3D printers. Hey, thanks so much for watching all, and I'll see you next time.